Can you hear it? All right, yeah, it's working on Facebook. All right, most first. Salakia, we're having some technical difficulties. I'll start this over again. Shalom Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai Barakatham to all the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Ilatha Bahashim Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. This is the ISUPK Las Vegas under Commandant General Yohana, where we started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. This is the ISUPK Las Vegas Wednesday law class. And today we're going to do a continuation from yesterday's class on how Esau is not our brother. He is not our friend. He is not our ally. He is nothing more than our enemy. And quite frankly, that also pertains to all the other nations as well. None of them are for us. None of them are our allies. They quite frankly don't like us, period. And the us pertains to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which together makes the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? With that being said, we're going to take a quick moment for all of us to like, share the video so that we can spread this video out, this information out to the four corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So just bear with me real quick while I go ahead and like and share this myself. And just so y'all know, for those of y'all that are watching, you can go ahead. We're going to start from, since we finished Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, 10 through 18, we're going to go to the next chapter and start with Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 16 is where we're going to start today. You know what I'm saying? We're basically going to start off with, you know, how, like I had said earlier, Esau ain't for us. The other nations ain't for us. You know, they're only worried about their own. And this verse will, you know, kind of bring that out to let y'all know, you know, basically what the Most High said about it, about these other nations. And how we all get down. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that should be it for Facebook. Let me go on to YouTube. Which one are you watching, young man? YouTube. You're watching the YouTube? All right, that's fine. Okay. Go ahead and hit that. And you're sharing it. You're sharing both YouTube and Facebook, right? Yeah, make sure you do both of them. Baba Kashad. There we go. Just give me a few more minutes. I'm almost done. Salakia. Let me know when you're done sharing it, young man. It's a while now. All right. Go ahead and read that when you got it, Baba Kashah. 13:16. Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 16.
The book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 16. All flesh consorteth according to kind.
Say one more time.
All flesh consorteth according to kind.
All flesh consorteth according to kind.
And a man will plead to his like.
Can you break that down? What is that saying right there? And also tell me why we're starting with this. Why you think I wanted to start with this verse? Exactly.
I'm not sure what this word
Oh yeah, no sweat. Yeah, if there's a word that you ain't sure about, make sure that you look that up. We want to make sure that we make sure. Don't just be sure, make sure. You know what I'm saying? Why does it keep doing that? Let me try and just restart this app. I really don't like technology, man. Let me tell you. And then go ahead and read that out loud as well. He's looking up the definition of consorted. The consort.
Consort. Habitually associate with someone, typically with the disapproval of others.
So what is that saying then? What does consort mean? What's an example of to consort? I'll give you a hint. The ISUPK consorts with its own kind. Read the definition again and tell me how the ISUPK apply that to how the ISUPK consorts with its own kind.
We associate with our own kind.
What's our own kind? What's the ISUPK's own kind?
We associate with Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
And nobody else. And in fact, to take it even a step further, we don't associate with we are not affiliated with any other Israelite camp. Either you with us or you just in the way, really. Go ahead.
Would this definition be better than it says agree or be in harmony with?
No, the first one is perfect. Are you having a hard time understanding that first definition?
Kinda.
All right, read it again. We'll walk through it together.
Habitually associate with someone, typically with the disapproval of others.
Okay, so you habitually, like a habit, nonstop, that's why I use the ISUPK as an example. We habitually only associate, gather together. We only congregate. So like, what's the word that we consort with? Just brothers and sisters in the ISUPK. That's all we associate with, pretty much. And of course, we do that with what's the last part that it said? I don't want to say it incorrectly.
Typically with the disapproval of others.
And we typically have disapproval of everybody else. Do you think that we approve of Esau, the Edomites, in any shape or fashion?
Wow.
What about the Moabites?
Wow.
What about the Hamites?
Wow.
Those are your so-called white man, so-called African man, so-called Asian man, or Chinese. Well, Moab is Chinese to be specific, but still, we disapprove of them. How do you think we feel about them little? I ain't gonna say that. Them purple cats, the IUIC. You think we approve of them?
Wow.
No, we disapprove of them. Either you with us or you pretty much against us, and you just in the doggone way. So get the hell out the way, right?
Okay.
So read that verse again.
Verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
All flesh consorteth according to kind.
So what does that mean for all flesh to consort to its kind?
To only associate with their kind.
Okay, so like the ISUPK, right? Like the so-called white man does, and they little, they got, they got the Ku Klux Klan, they got the doggone, who was that Commander General Yohana just went and debated against? I think it's called the Proud Boys or whatever. Well, it wasn't really a debate because Commander General Yohana pretty much just smashed them. But although that they do have other races kind of mixed into the Proud Boys, the thing is they consort to their own kind with ideology, right? So you want to move and act and sound and smell like a white man, you could be a part of the Proud Boys. And actually, I believe one of the captains had made a comment about how one of the brothers, because I believe he was Cuban, so he's from the tribe of Manasseh. How he a better white man than the doggone white man was, because he loved it. He loved white people that much. He loved white people ideology that much. But the point I'm trying to make is what the verse is saying is that all flesh will come together according to their own kind, to their own flesh, to their own people. So for typically you don't really see white boys hanging out with brothers. Whether they're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, they might try to kick it with a little bit, Salakia. Might try to kick them with them a little bit, but for the most part, they kind of dealt with at a distance. It's just that's just the crazy white boy of the group. Like, who said that? Cat Williams, I believe. Every group, every gang need a white boy, because he the craziest motherfucker in there. He down to do whatever right then and there, because he ain't got no doggone sense. He trying to prove himself, right? But typically, they still go to their own. They consort with their own. Just like how you see a lion and an antelope kicking it together. No, lions dwell with lions. You know what I'm saying? Just like the ISUPK, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we dwell together, and it's only us, right? So go ahead and read on from there.
And a man will cleave to his life.
What's that? What is that saying?
Associate with who you like, who you want to associate with.
Not what he likes. It's not to his own. Okay, when it says to his like, it's not to his liking. It's to his like his likeness. So him being the man being a black man, he's going to where's it at? He'll cleave unto those that are like him. You're gonna cleave unto your own people. You might, when you was in the world, you might, kicked it with the Asians, you might have kicked it with the white people, whatever, time to time, whatever. But the ones that you actually cleave unto, what's your best friend? He Hispanic. All my best friends pretty much been, they been Judites, growing up and whatnot. Because I just naturally cleaved unto my own life. You understand? Read the next verse.
Verse 17. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly.
So break that down. It started off with the example of the wolf and the lamb. That's basically what I was talking about with the lion and the gazelle, or impala, or whatever the hell. The African deer. So with that next part, so the sinner with the godly. Or you can say the ungodly with the godly. Would they come together? Godly might fish out the sinner, because that's what we doing. We trying to wake up, our sleeping brothers and sisters in the world, fish them out of the world so that, they can come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. But do we actually, when they're in their sinful ways, are we going out of, going to kick it with them? So, while they, trying to roll up a spliff, we go and kick it with them when they doing their worldly crap? Nah, if they want to kick it with us, they come and dwell with us and function with us the way that we do. We might have some music, you know what I'm saying, some drink flowing, playing some bones, playing some spades. Well, you got the tailwood this weekend, by the way. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, we do our thing. We do, we kick it the way that we supposed to, that the Most High, says is okay to do it, basically. Because where there is no law, there is no sin. So, we get eat some food, have some drink, play some games, listen to some music, do our thing. But we ain't doing things that the sinner, would do, where, he trying to smoke weed, going, wants to go and kick it at the titty bar, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to pull them away from that. You know what I'm saying? So, just like how, like, it's basically going into, the white man ain't gonna kick it with you. The only reason why the white man, a so-called white man, Esau, would want to kick it with you is because he's plotting something on you. So he pretends he's your friend. What's one way to describe Esau?
Cunning.
A cunning. What he is cunning, but is that
a cunning hunter?
He's a cunning hunter. And right now, what would you say is his favorite prey, to hunt?
Black, Hispanics, Native Americans.
Exactly. He loves hunting us. You understand? Go ahead and read that next verse then.
Verse 18. What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor?
Now, you see how it's like it's really starting to like drill it in. You know what I'm saying? There is no place for two different likes of flesh to come together. It's just, first and foremost, it's just not gonna work. It's two different worlds. And those worlds, essentially, they can't what's the word? I don't want to, collide's not the word I want to use, but we'll say combine. The world's just our two worlds. No two worlds, not even the Edomite and the Moabite, their two worlds can't combine. What they do actually do is clash. Now, mind you, does Moab still have this? And this is how wicked and evil, Esau is that, it's not. Esau is going through stripping everybody of their culture. Everybody. Because think about it. Does Moab still, follow their original culture? Do they still be wearing their little samurai dresses? Oh, I guess that's Ammon, but still. The Japanese and the Chinese, they do business in what attire?
White man's attire.
Yeah, that whole, clean cut, shaved, low cut hair, all that. Because the culture of the doggone Japanese, they believed in long hair. They did their thing with long hair. And they was kind of bald up top, and then they had that one little stupid ponytail and stuff like that where they folded like 15 times. But regardless, that culture is being basically stripped and taken from them. Because the white man, that's what the so-called white man does, is that he invades everybody and basically slaps his face on it. So that you want to be like, so that those people will want to be like him. But mind you as well, we ain't worried about Moab right now. We ain't worried about Ammon. I was just using them as an example that Esau has no, what's the word? He has no, we'll say limits. He just goes and takes and takes and takes because Esau is a greedy bastard. He is never satisfied. Even when he has blood, he is never satisfied. He still wants more. You understand? Where was we at? Just finished 18. Go ahead and read verse 19.
Verse 19. As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor.
Man, it's damn near even saying that, the rich and the poor pretty much can't even, come together and dwell. Because when the rich and the poor come together, what's gonna happen to the poor? what's the rich going to do to the poor?
Basically, tell them off.
The rich is going to devour them. Because, I mean, is that not what the rich does now? Now, mind you as well, who is the rich? Who is the rich in this? Hey, Shalom Most High in Christ, Dwayne. Who is the poor?
So-called white men. Sorry, I meant rich is the so-called white man. Poor
Okay.
Is the Black Hispanics Native American.
Right. I mean, you can really say that the rich is all the other nations, because I mean, hell, they all the other nations have a military. You know, they have land, natural resources, at least some bit of their own culture. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we basically just taking the scraps of everybody else, of what Esau will give us, what Moab would give us, the little scraps of their culture, the little scraps of their, of their wealth. And wealth doesn't necessarily mean just, financially. You understand? And so, but what is one way that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can be wealthy, even in this world? Go ahead.
In brotherhood.
Okay, I mean, that's a good answer, but give me more than that. Take me a step further than just brotherhood. Exactly. You follow those laws, statutes, and commandments. You follow those laws, statutes, and commandments. That's how you can become wealthy yourself. Because what will happen when you follow the laws, statutes, and commandments? Huh? Because what happens when you follow the laws, statutes, and commandments?
Come closer to God. Live a righteous path. Following the steps of Christ.
Okay, but what's the consequence for not following the law, statutes, and commandments?
You won't be saved.
You won't be what?
You won't have salvation.
What's the condition that we are in right now? Is that just by coincidence, or why are we in the condition that we're in today?
Because we haven't been following the law, statutes,
and so you're right. And so because of that, what exactly, in one word, what is the consequence that we receive for not following the law, statutes, and commandments?
It's a curse.
Exactly. You receive curses for not following the law, statutes, and commandments. So if you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, what do you get?
Life,
You're not wrong. Yeah, you do get life, but there's something in specific. If you're not being cursed, what would you say you're getting right now?
Blessed.
You get blessings. You understand? And part of them blessings is, being able to live off the land where, you have bountiful harvests, maybe finances, just being able to live in peace. Now, considering the fact that we ain't able to live in peace right now, why ain't we able to live in peace? Because we curse right now, right? And that's because we prefer to take the crumbs of the other nations, and those crumbs are just crumbs of their culture, because we want to be everything but who we are. We want to be everything and everyone but Israel. You understand? So we're gonna drop that, and we're gonna go to the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Hey, Cash, look, check this out, bro. You so worried about my pedigree, but how about you go ahead and prove your pedigree? Just understand this, that I am an authorized priest and prophet of the Lord in the ISUPK. You understand? For you to be questioning me like that, when my only question is who are you to even be questioning me in the first place? I've already done proved my pedigree, so who are you to even question me? You understand? If you want to learn, just shut up and learn and leave it at that. All right. So go ahead and read that. Read that when you got it, Baba Kashai.
The book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11.
All right.
Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Man, who's this talking about?
So-called white man.
How do you know that when it said, explain to me how you came up with that answer? Why? Prove that to me.
The last part, they call their lands after their own names. America was named after a man. I forget what his name was. It's like something weird, but I know it's from a man.
Why don't you try and look it up? Most High in Christ, I understand. Okay, so you tribe of Issachar. Okay, Most High in Christ.
It was named after a man named Amerigo. The Italian expression set forth in the revolutionary concept that the lands that Christopher Columbus sailed to in 1492.
What other lands are named after themselves? How about the land that our people, our Judite brothers, our Judite, our Levites, I believe the Benjamite brothers as well try to associate themselves with this continent. It's not even a freaking country, an entire continent. I pretty much just gave it away. This man deleted all his messages, man. All right, that's cool. That's all right. What's another land that's named after so-called white man? Anybody online got an answer? I'm gonna check. See what we got. Give y'all a few moments. All right, you ain't find it yet? How about Look up Africanus. Africanus. I think his name was like something goofy, like Scorpio Africanus or something like that. But they named Africa after him. On Africanus?
Oh, I'm spelling it wrong. Okay. I don't know how to spell it.
No sweat. By the way, for those of y'all that are just tuning in, if y'all don't mind, make sure that y'all like, share the video. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, ISUPK Nevada. And then for those of y'all that are on Facebook, make sure that you like the page, ISUPK Las Vegas. That way you can keep up to date with all classes and new content that we release. And we're actually about to drop a lot of new content and whatnot. Go ahead.
His name is Scipio Africanus.
It's Scipio Africanus. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it looked like Scorpio. I don't know, some stupid astrology crap. But yeah, that's what Africa is named after. It's Scipio, Scorpio. I like astrology Africanus. You understand? That's a so-called white man. Now go ahead and break down, the beginning where their inward thought. What's an inward thought? What they're thinking. Yeah, that's simple. It's what you're thinking. So what they think is that their houses shall continue forever. Does that mean like literally like a house that you live in?
No, basically that they'll always be around. I guess you would say they'll always be in rulership.
How would you explain? How would you elaborate what the house of Israel is, or the house of Edom? What is the house of Edom, or the house of Iraq? Man, what's going on with my nose, man? Hurts.
So basically, the house of your people.
Yeah, it's just, basically the family. So they believe that their family, house of Esau, is going to continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. I mean, Esau gonna come and steal your land, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, because quite frankly, yeah, so-called black man, technically, this entire land is indebted to you if you think about it. To the Hispanics, you think about it. I mean, there ain't no thinking about that. It was stolen from the Hispanics. It was stolen from the Native Americans. But it's like all three of us together, collectively, not only was it stolen, but we built what the hell we live in today. Off our blood, sweat, and tears. And we don't get nothing but redlining and gentrification. That's your payment. That is what you get in return for building this country, fighting these wars for this country so that this country can get richer. And you just come home to getting slaughtered. I believe what was that? Is it called the Red Summer? The Red Summer Massacre, I believe it is. I believe that's what it was called. Let me look. Salakia. Oh yeah, red is called Red Summer. Look into that. No, I'm telling you, I'm just saying in general, for everybody to look into that for themselves. You know, about how we basically left for World War I to go fight for this country, and you know, when blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans came back, you know, they shot us dead in the streets. Like, that's your payment for yours. Any services that we give to this country, to the white man, period, or any of the other nations, the only thing that you pay back, the only thing that they pay you back with is basically spilling your blood, killing your children, raping our women. And that's part of the reason why that, you know, because they continuously do this as a form of their oppression, and it weighs on us so heavily. That's part of the reason why they believe that, you know, they're gonna continue and live on forever. Make sure you check in the YouTube comments from time to time to let me know if there's anything that came up. All right. With that being said, if y'all do have any questions, make sure that y'all or even comments, make sure that y'all post it in the chat. Baba Kashad. You had something, young man?
I was just saying,
Nah, yeah, I've been watching it. Let's drop that. We're gonna go to the book of John, chapter 4, chapter 8, verse 44. Chapter 8, verse 44. And tell me what color that is in first, before you begin.
that is in red.
It's in red. Okay. And speak up. So it's in red. Go ahead and read that.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning.
He was a what?
A murderer from the beginning.
Go ahead.
And abode.
Abode.
And abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Now,
I'm going to ask you this. Do you know who Yahweh Shai is speaking to right now? Go ahead. No. Go, let's see where I want you to start. Let's start from 39.
Verse 39. They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Jesus said unto them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham.
Okay. So, do you think you know now who Yahweh Shai is speaking to? We're just going to start from here and then work our way down. But this is a good spot to start from without like having to read, too far back. He's talking to Israelites, right? Now, why did he say that their father is basically not the Most High, but is the devil? He's speaking to the Israelites. that their father, he said, your father is the devil, but it's Israelites. Why did he say that? Why did he say that those Israelites, their father is the devil?
Because they're not following law statutes. They're following Christians.
No, that's an excellent answer. Make sure that you speak up. All right, speak up. In case y'all didn't hear what the young man has said, he said that basically, because they're being Christians, they're not following the law, statutes, and commandments. Now, why does that mean that their father is the devil? Because they're not following the law, statutes, and commandments.
Because the devil, that's the devil's works.
What exactly is
Christianity?
Is it just Christianity?
Christianity and among other religions.
What other religions?
Buddhism, Muslim, being atheist, whatever. If it's not of the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, it's
Man, get a brother doggone hand. Most High in Christ. That's exactly what I wanted you to say. If it's not of the Most High, it's pretty much of the devil. It's exactly what it is. It's of the devil. If you ain't worshiping the Most High, you paying. You doing everything but what you supposed to be doing. You understand? You doing everything that the devil wants you to do. And what's everything that he wants you to do? It's just one thing. What's the one thing that the devil wants you to do?
sin.
Yes. But sin how?
Sin against the Most High.
He just wants you to not follow the Most High. Put other guys before him. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you smoking weed, that's worshiping another god, right?
I did not know.
There's a Hindu god for it. There's an Egyptian god for it. Many other cultures, they have a god, basically they attribute marijuana to, a certain god. Let's say, for example, for the brothers and sisters that got dreads, them dreadlocks. That's worshiping another god, a false god. Do you know which one?
I don't remember the name, but I've read.
Do you know what culture? Look up where dreadlocks came from. Let's see if we got any answers online. Just while we waiting for the brother to find where dreadlocks originated from, just be sure, for those of y'all that are just now tuning in, you like, share, and subscribe. This video. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, ISUPK Nevada, and then also our Facebook page, ISUPK Las Vegas. That way you can, be informed, up to date with all of our content that we're releasing out here in Las Vegas, because it's a lot that we about to release. between interviews of, you know, brothers and sisters out in the world to, you know, some personal, basically personal interviews with, you know, the officers out here in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So basically, y'all can get an idea and see what, you know, the backgrounds of, you know, the brothers that y'all learning from, you know, what they came from, what, you know, what their background was like coming into the truth, and essentially, you know, how it turned, you know, the transition. You understand? So make sure you know, like and share and subscribe to the Facebook page and the doggone Nevada it's like the YouTube channel. You ain't find it.
The only thing I see says Rastafarian.
The Rastafarian?
It says like that, but then it says a dude named Samson.
No. Samson didn't have dreadlocks. Just so y'all know, he did not have dreadlocks. You understand? His locks were braids. I believe it was actual cornrows is what he had, but don't hold me to it. I'll get clarification on that. But I know for a fact he did not have dreadlocks because that is unlawful. You understand? Them filthy, nasty dreadlocks, that comes from another nation. Y'all gotta understand that any type of uncleanliness, you know, it's not of the Most High. That's why we have clean foods and unclean foods. You got clean hair, unclean hair. Hell, you know, you can't even lay with your woman and then, you know, congregate until the evening and you shower and then the evening because you're considered unclean. You can't do certain things after, you know, certain actions because you'll be unclean. You know, you'll be unclean for 7 days if, you know, let's say you go to a funeral because your mom, you know, whomever had died. You go to their funeral, you unclean for 7 days. You know, we Israelites, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Most High is all about being clean in every and any aspect. You know what I'm saying? So all that, you know, if you basically gotta sit in filth, I mean, hell, do you really have to ask about it? Oh, is this lawful? Is this okay for me to do? For me to have dirt all up in your man? Because I seen some of them doggone videos of them washing out their dreads. That is disgusting. And they want to sit there and talk about some, oh yeah, I washed my hair and it felt like I dropped like 50 pounds. 50 pounds of dirt. That's disgusting. It's filthy and disgusting. Get rid of them doggone dreads. Not just because I said so, not just because I said it's disgusting, but the Most High said you ain't supposed to have them in the first place. That's the only thing, the only reason for you to even do it in the first place. The Most High said not to do it. Simple as that. You got something for me?
So it originated from Indian culture? From,
Which one? East Indian or West Indian?
It just says Indian trade like land on it, and then it says it came from a deity named Shiva.
There you go. You found it. It's the East Indian. A little 7-Eleven. Thank you. Come again. It comes from them. Their god Shiva, one of their gods Shiva, he basically taught that if you getting dreadlocks opens up your mind so that you're able to achieve nirvana, essentially. Their heaven, whatever you want to call it for them. Being filthy and nasty opens up your mind. Like, y'all sound ridiculous. I actually watched a little clip on it of these doggone, what are they called, gurus or whatever? and he was explaining why Shiva was saying, or taught that, dreadlocks helps you open up your third mind and this, that, and the other. So basically, your dreadlocks connect, is supposed to some way, somehow connect your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere. Because he's basically saying that essentially you use only one at a time, technically. And then, of course, as well, you have a lot of major portions of your brain that are basically asleep and on standby, and only get activated when you're doing certain things. Like, let's say there's a certain portion of your brain that is used for when you solve a puzzle, and then there's another portion of your brain that's only used for when, I don't know, we'll say when you smell it, right? And these are just examples, but random examples. But when you have your dreadlocks, they basically said was, you have dreadlocks, and the longer that they are, it awakens all of your brain. So essentially, your whole brain should be lit up with activity because you have nasty, filthy hair. I mean, isn't it funny and crazy, and not only that, but ridiculous, the bullshit that people will just believe? So lucky for my language, but y'all just believe anything, don't y'all? Then of course the Rastafarians, yeah, they did adopt that culture. But you know why the Rastafarians, the Benjamite brothers, the Jamaicans, why they took that culture on? Because India, the East Indians, they occupied Jamaica. That's how you got Kamala Harris in the first place. That bitch she ain't Israel. That girl is, her mama's side is East Indian, and then I guess on her daddy's side goes all the way back to Ireland. They white. She actually an Edomite. You understand? But the point is with the East Indians, the East Indians had I'm not gonna say a heavy presence, but they had a presence in Jamaica. That's why that's one thing with their culture, with the weed and the dreadlocks. Man, that comes from the East Indians, because they big on weed. They sitting there doing the oh thank you God, oh yes, with the weed in the room. I got my dreadlocks and the smoking the weed or all that BS. Man, that come from the East Indians. What? You know what I'm saying? Like, early as 1800 BC. Okay, but you also know that as early as 1800 BC, the East Indians was there. Are you going to sit here and try to tell me that 1800 BC outdates Shiva first and foremost, or even being filthy in the first place? That's the big thing. The point is with the dreadlocks became a major fashion, like a fashion thing, because of the worship of a god. Now, when you go that far back in the first place to the 1800 BC, as you said, I mean, you got to think about it. A lot of people was filthy as hell back then. They didn't think too much of bathing. Mind you, who taught the so-called white man how to bathe in the first place in the medieval ages? Go ahead. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We did. Because back then, You know why diseases was so rampant during the doggone medieval ages? It's because these Edomites, the so-called white man, was sleeping with their chickens. They were sleeping with their pigs. All them animals was, freely roaming together with, with these white folk. Which kind of makes sense when you look at them today, when they, be cuddling up with them nasty ass pigs in they bed, and they having chickens and all sorts of nonsense running up and down their doggone hallways in their house. Then their houses be freaking filthy as hell as well. It's crazy how history repeats itself, don't it? But that being said, though, so you understand who Yahweh Shai was speaking to?
God.
He's speaking to who?
Israelites.
Speaking to Israelites. Why did he say that that's that their father is the devil?
Because they're not following the Most High.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's really that simple. But so now keep in mind as well, because right now we are talking about Esau and on how he is not our brother, right? How the other nations, they are not our brothers. They are not, our allies, our friends, anything of that sort. They're nothing more than our enemies. Who is their father? Who is the East Indian man or Elam? Who's their father?
The devil.
The devil. Who's Edom? The devil. Edom.
Oh, the devil.
Who's Moab?
The devil.
Why is it that their father is the devil?
They're not of God's people, and they don't even. This isn't for them.
Yes, but give me more. Why is it that their father is the devil?
They follow other things, other religions and stuff like that, and they're basically just all a lie.
What they follow is a lie. Because what's the father's job? Is to lead and instruct his household, right? So who is the Most High's household that he's leading and instructing? Israel, because he's only dealing with Israel, correct? He ain't worried about them other kids. I ain't they daddy, I'm your daddy, right? That's the Most High. So them other kids, all them other nations, I mean, essentially they do have everybody got a daddy. Everybody being led and instructed by some form of a father figure, right? Whether it be the TV, BS, mother, father, but now there's still a father figure over that. Right, so I'm gonna retract that. But the other nations, they look up to all the many different ideologies that the devil has come up with to deceive, essentially just to deceive us. He came up with all that foolishness just to basically try you, to try and see how righteous you are, to try and see if you really about the Most High. That's why he came up with all these other religions. That's why we have umpteen million different religions, because Satan, the devil, is that freaking creative. He is that creative. You understand? Satan is freaking creative, endless. And mind you as well, there's still people coming up with new religions. I've seen some goofy stuff with some girl trying to make some there's like a chicken following cult thing or whatever through her webcam streaming thing. I don't know. Like, and she really be telling people that like follow her, like do chicken dance and stuff like that and be like recording that. And then she laughed at him later. It's like, ain't no way in hell that you don't see her reaction after all that and still be like, oh, she just playing me. Man, y'all some goofy ass individuals. Salakia. All right. So we're going to drop that. And we're going to go to the second book of Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 13 through 15. You understand? Now, what I'm trying to bring out right now, obviously, by the title, I'm just trying to really drill it into everybody's heads that, the so-called white man, our oppressor, Esau, man, he has no real intent. These other nations as well, it includes them as well, because mind you, they all follow after him. You understand? None of them have any real intent to serve your best interest at all. The only entity on any plane that has your best interest in mind, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, is who? It's the Most High. And it's that simple. But, because we so doggone destroyed and damaged, and a lot of y'all know exactly, it might hit real close to home for a lot of y'all with this, but a lot of our brothers and sisters, man, we in love with pain. We in love with being knocked down and being told we ain't shit. You understand? Like, that's why a lot of our brothers be picking the wrong women. That's why a lot of our sisters be picking the wrong men. Because we like to be in that rinse and repeat toxicity of any type of relationship. Whether it's a toxic relationship with, somebody that you laying down with, a toxic relationship that you create. Well, I mean, that's Christian if I were to say that. We'll just say that a lot of our brothers and sisters are in love with having toxicity in their lives. You understand? We can't let that go. We can't just let that sludge pass through our lives so that way we can actually have clarity. And what's the one way that you can have clarity? What's the one way to get rid of that sludge out your life? Yeah, man.
Follow those laws, statutes,
commandments. Laws, statutes, commandments. Do what the Most High told your little stubborn, stiff-necked ass. If I say don't eat pork, don't eat doggone pork. But you gonna eat pork? Just see me one time. You gonna eat when the Most High told you not to eat pork. You gonna keep on eating pork because everybody else does it, and then you might consider stopping because now you got high blood pressure. Now you high risk for heart disease. The man in the white coat, your massa, ultimately, your massa on this earth, he tells you that you need to lay off the water. He tells you to lay off the pork. You gotta wait until then, or why not even put yourself in a predicament to essentially get your ass whooped and just listen to who you're supposed to listen to the first time? That's a lot here. I still kind of sound like Gary, my doggone dad. My father. I feel like I'm saying the same nonsense, or not nonsense, but the same crap he used to say to me when I was a boy. When I was a kid, man, like, why don't you just listen the first time? I don't have to tear your ass up. Most High saying, man, why don't you just listen the first time so I don't have to put curses on you and whoop your ass and put these little ugly Edomites over you to tear your back up, to kill you, to kill your wife, to kill your children, steal everything that you have, even though you build everything up with your own hands just for them to take it from you. All of that can stop if you just listen. You just listen. Hell, real quick, hold that. Open up your Apocrypha real quick and go back to Ecclesiasticus chapter 12. Go to, what's it, Looking Glass? 11. Read verse 11 for me, Baba Gashad. Just real quick.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Now, if you taking heed to be aware of somebody, like, first of all, like, you paying attention to any type of warnings. What's the first warning that you got about these other nations? What's the first warning that you got?
They humble themselves?
No, that is not the first warning. Read verse 10. How about that? We'll start with verse 10.
Verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Never trust your enemy. Don't trust your enemy. These other nations are not for you at all. I mean, hell, it starts in the book of Genesis. That serpent was not a freaking snake. Get that little goofy Christianity out your mind with that. I mean, hell, look at our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, always speak in analogies. And why all of a sudden, when we speak about a snake, a serpent, we think it's a literal snake. But then we forget about, I mean, hell, what did the Native American, the Gadites, how did they describe the Europeans that came over here? They were serpent-like with a forked tongue. They were a forked-tongue people. That mean that literally they was like them goofy-ass people that be, splitting their tongue? No. The way that they speak, they spoke out straight. But what they actually did, what they said, either with it forked to the left or forked to the right. And that's also why the so-called Native Americans call these doggone Europeans snakes. They serpents. Just a quick little, small little quick breakdown on that. So why do we remove all these analogies and whatnot going forward so that we just continue to go into this nonsense where we basically play ourselves? Don't get me wrong, Edom is crafty. He's a cunning hunter. But when you got the Most High power on your side, you think that do you think that Esau is more crafty than the Most High? That he's wiser than the Most High?
Not even close.
I mean, okay, so if you doing as what your father told you to do in the first place, you doing what the Most High told you to do in the first place, you think that your ass will end up in some goofy ass situation? Read the rest of verse 11.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
So that right there, that rust. What is that rust? What's the rust an analogy for? Go ahead. His wickedness. If you just pay attention and take heed to all the warnings from the very beginning to hell, the other side of the doggone Bible, from cover to cover, where it sister tells you, man, quit dealing with these doggone nations, especially Esau. Quit dealing with them. Quit trying to befriend them. Quit trying to love them. They trying to get you, beguile you with some craftiness. If you just follow the Most High, off the rip, the Most High said, don't deal with them in the first place. Okay, so I ain't supposed to deal with you. There's a reason why my dad, when your father used to tell you, your mom and dad, when you was growing up, used to tell you, don't go and play with that little boy. Don't go play with that little girl. Stay away from over there. Woo. Of course, when you were a kid, oh man, like, they ain't that bad. Woo. But then there's always that one time where you actually took the time to step the hell back and you saw his goofy ass do something where you was like, oh, that's why mom and dad said not to do that. Let me go and kick it with him. That's why mom and dad said to stay away from him. Now, of course, you know, a lot of our, you know, because we so doggone stiff-necked, you know, sometimes, you know, some of us was intrigued by it. Oh, he being goofy, doing some dumb crap. Man, I want to do some hood rat shit with my friends too. You know what I'm saying? I want to go do that too. Being goofy, knowing damn well you got to get your tail tore up. And the thing is that instance, it still ain't no difference if you would have recognized, oh, that's why I'm not supposed to kick it with them. You just took it. You still have that realization and recognition at that moment. You just either intrigued with it and want to participate, or you just understand. You're like, oh yeah, no, hell no, I ain't trying to. His mama might not whoop his ass, but mine will. His daddy might not knock him the hell out, but mine will. His God may not curse him, but mine will. And the reason why his God ain't gonna curse him is that God is false in the first doggone. You understand? Now, 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. Go ahead and read it when you got it, Baba Kasha.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
Ooh. Who you think this talking about? Like, what is this talking about? Give me an example of false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. Go ahead.
Bishops, what do they call them? Popes.
Oh, okay. I mean, man, you're giving me excellent examples. How about you just sum it up? Sum it up.
False prophets.
No. Okay. Where are a lot of our false prophets? Because hell, Buddha, ain't nobody say that Buddhism got doggone false prophets.
Christians.
Man, Christianity, dude. Christianity is damn near the home of false prophets. ISUPK is the home of the truth. Christianity is the home of the false prophets. You understand that? It's the home of the lies. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Break that down. How is Satan himself transformed into an angel of light? How? Go ahead.
Because since Christianity is a lie, and that's the of his works, Satan's works. People make him out to be something so, something so great, something that that we're supposed to follow. That is for everybody. When really it's not. It's just basically just sets you up for failure. It's just all lies.
Okay, you're not wrong. What you're bringing out is correct to an extent, but it's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Let's create context. Look up where Christ said, "For I am the bright and morning star." I believe he said, "I'm the bright and morning star." I believe he said, not he said, Salakia. Yahushua has said that. Look that up for me. I believe it should be in Revelations. I want to say in the last chapter. Let me see if I can find it myself. Since I believe it's in the last chapter.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 16.
22. Oh, I was just about to read that. Go ahead and read that for me. And read it loud. Speak up. Use your chest, boy.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
I, Yahushua, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star.
What does it mean to be the bright and morning star? What does that mean?
To be the example for everybody.
No, you in the ballpark. And I'm gonna ask online as well. What does it mean for Yahushua to be the bright and morning star? And then especially when you go back to the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 14, where it says that, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. In darkness, first of all, because we're comparing 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. The angel of light. What is an angel of light supposed to be? What is the light in the context of the scriptures? What is the light supposed to be? Go ahead.
Basically following the law statutes.
It's not necessarily following the law, statutes, commandments. Go ahead.
The truth?
No. Okay. If the truth is the light, what is the darkness?
The lies.
Lies, the deceit, the world. Right? So if you're in the world, you're in what?
You're in the darkness.
You're in the darkness. How do you come out of the world? Stick with the context. Stick with the context of what I just laid out. How do you come out of the world?
You find the truth. Follow the truth. The law, statutes, commandments.
Okay, but stick with the context though. You're right, but stick with the context. How do you come out of the world? How do you come out of the darkness? What takes anything out of the darkness?
Light.
So how do you come out of the darkness?
Light.
Go to the light. Follow the light. You said go to the, follow the truth. Follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Is that not the light? Is Yahushua Mashiach or Jesus Christ, is he not the light? Now, mind you, it says that I am the root and the offspring of David. So that right there, that's confirming first and foremost, there is no such thing as an immaculate conception. I mean, maybe somebody can pull up some medical records, some medical history, and tell me of an instance of where somebody was conceived without a penis being inserted into their mother's vagina. Never happened. Didn't even happen with Christ. All right. Let's just start with right there, because this is literally the book of Revelations, chapter 22, verse 16 is a great precept when you go right to the very first verse of the first book of the New Testament. You understand? Just these two verses alone, Matthew chapter 1, verse 1, and Revelation chapter 22, verse 16, those two alone, you take them two together, there's no more argument about immaculate conception. No more. You're stupid as hell if you think there's an immaculate conception. Just want to throw that out there, clarify that moving forward. All right. And the bright and morning star. So, what is a morning star? You see stars in the morning? You see a star in the morning. And the sun is a star. And what does that star do? What does the sun do in the morning?
Shines.
And gets rid of
all the darkness.
All the darkness. It's the first light. You want to see? Head towards the east. The further you go into that direction, the more light that you start getting. Because where's the sunrise from?
The east.
It sets in the west, right? So you go to the east, the more you chase the east at morning time, the more you essentially chasing what?
The light.
And you're also chasing what as well?
The truth.
The truth. You're chasing your Howard shot, right? Now let's go back to 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. Right? Ooh, it's a lot. There we go. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. How is it that Satan was able to be transformed into an angel of light? If Yahweh Shai is the way, he is the light. He is the light for us to come out of this foolishness. Because Yahweh Shai taught us the one thing that basically the Mosaic law lacked. Do you know what that was? Basically, the brotherhood. Because the Mosaic law that was written, it just gave you a cut and dry what the law is. Don't do this. If this happens, do this. This is how you go about this situation. That's the Mosaic law. But Yahweh Shai came into the scene and broke down like, yo, man, like, yeah, we follow the Mosaic laws, but we supposed to go about everything a certain way in the first place. Because mind you, any type of trespass against the brother, like for example, we'll say a good example. Let's say I accidentally kill your ass, a donkey, right? Kill some of your livestock on accident. It's a genuine accident as well. There's a law for that. I have to repay you for that, whether it was on an accident or on purpose, right? But the thing that's missing from what Moses actually wrote is basically out of the spirit of brotherhood. This is why you pay it back to your brother. Roadkill, for example, or an animal that dies of itself. You're not supposed to grab that animal and go and sell it to your brother. That's against the law. That is a sin. So if I found a rabbit, well, you can't say rabbit. If I found a cow in the middle of the road, or I hit that doggone thing, boom, with my truck. Ooh, my bad, your fault. Should have been standing there. you know what? It's not even my bad. That's my game. I'm about to go and sell this meat. It's unlawful for me to sell it to you. Because out of brotherhood, not to, not to do that. You understand that? Oh, no, wait, hold on. Let me backtrack. Not if I hit him with a car. If while I was driving, I'm going down the road and I come across a cow that had just died of itself. You know what it means to die of itself?
Just natural death.
It's a natural death. You just, I got no energy. I ain't got the energy to breathe no more. Ugh. Boom, collapse. Died of itself. I come across it, I'm clap, 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 clap. I'm on my damn horse, my vehicle, whatever. Lord, hey, maybe when we in the kingdom, we'll actually have flying cars. Like in the Jetsons, with less white people and more black people. Come across the doggone cow. I'm gonna sell this doggone thing. I can do that. The law says I can sell it. I just can't sell it to my brother. It's unbrotherly to do that. Because who knows what necessarily killed it or what actually killed it. It could have been old age. It could have been this disease. It could have been this, that, and it just flopped and died. Okay. Out of brotherhood, you can sell that. Out of brotherhood, you don't sell that to your own. You don't take that risk. Because again, going back to what I had said earlier, man, we are clean people and we gonna stay a clean people. But them other ones, like, bring me my money. Let's sell this shit to you. You understand? Same thing with, for example, you can't have usury. You can't put usury over your brother. Your brother loan you some money, you cannot put usury on him. You know what usury means?
Isn't that like a debt, basically?
I mean, your brother, you can tell your brother, yeah, pay me this shit back. You can do that.
Or is that interest?
Are you sure?
I don't know.
See, there you go.
How do you spell
it? Hey, Salaki. I ain't no English major or anything like that, so don't laugh at me if I misspelled it. But it's USURAY, maybe? No, I don't think there's an A. Might be just USU. I don't know. I'm about to make myself sound stupid. How do you spell it?
USURY.
Huh?
USURY.
USURY?
Yeah.
Okay, so I added an A. Salakia. Go ahead and give me the definition.
Usury, the legal action or practice of lending money at unreasonable high rates of interest.
You can't put interest on it. That says illegal use. What's illegal use in the scripture is, if me being a Judite, let's say it's correct, brother. Check YouTube, Baba Kashab. Me being a Judite, let's say that it's correct, brother. Hey, Salakia, man, you think you can front me on a bill? Oh yeah, no sweat. I mean, here you go. I give him that bill, give him 100, and then let's say a couple weeks go by, a couple months go by, whatever. Hey, I got you your money back. How much do you think he should give me back? Just that one bill. But if it was Moab, what do you think I should do?
They would ask for interest.
No. Not what they would ask. Moab come to me and say, "Hey, man, I need to borrow $100. I need to get a bill off you. Can I take a loan from you?"
put interest. I mean, you probably give them a date and you need it, but if they go past that date, it's interest after that.
Nah, pretty much. I'm a question. Matter of fact, the way I go about it is, man, listen here, little fish head. What you need it for? Okay, that sounds like a reasonable. That's reasonable for you to ask me for some money. I'm gonna give you this money. I'm gonna give you $100. But every day that I don't have it, I'm gonna clock your ass every hour. I'm tacking on another 50 cents. Every hour that you don't pay me back in full, another 50 cents. You got 50 cents on the hour once you late. So you got 3 days. Pay me back. You want to take? You sure you want to take this money? I really need it right now. Okay. Hey man, don't make me send out my little Edomite slaves to come and cut your toes off because your ass ain't paying me my doggone money. Because I'm gonna max you out. You got 2 weeks to give me in full with 50 cents on the hour. You give me my $100 plus the interest. And you got 3 days to pay me back my $100. That's perfectly lawful. If that's the terms I give you, that's perfectly lawful. If I give you $100 and I'm like, man, just try to get it back to me in about 2 weeks, bro. Let's say it take you 6 weeks. Can I charge you interest?
Wow.
Nah, man. And that was the only thing that was basically missing out of the Mosaic law, which is the brotherhood aspect behind it. The Mosaic law was basically just a cut and dry law. You do this is what happens. If somebody sins in this way, this is what you do to make up for it. This is the death penalty, etc., etc. This is how you deal with your own. This is how you deal with the other nations. You understand? But Yahushua come on the scene like, nah, man, like, clearly somebody got to teach our little goofy asses to follow the law with brotherhood. That's basically, that's literally what Yahushua came on the scene for. Because what was the ultimate What was his ultimate example of the law? What was Yahushua Mashiach or Jesus Christ? What was his ultimate act of the law? Go ahead.
Dying for our sins.
Yes, but what was his act of the law? What law did he execute when he died for our sins?
Brotherhood?
Give yourself a hand, young man. Exactly. Brotherhood. He executed brotherhood to the fullest extent. Ain't nobody can say, oh, ain't nobody more brotherly than me. Nigga, what the hell did you die for? Oh, wait, oh. We having a conversation. So, ain't nobody more brotherly than you? And so, like, I slick actually did hear that before. Ain't nobody more brotherly than me. But, again, like, Yahushua Mashiach, ain't nobody, he executed the most brotherly action that anybody can do. And that was to give his life for someone he loved, for one of his own. And it wasn't just one. Our king died for all of us. All of us. He was the rightful heir to the throne. Salaki. He is the rightful heir to the throne to rule this earth. And he said, you know what? Hold up. I slick personally don't want to go through what I have to go through right now because I love my people more than I love myself. I'm more concerned about my people, the condition that they are in, than the condition I'm about to be put through because of these things. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and let these doggone dogs spill my blood, my innocent blood, for the sake of my people, so that they can inherit this kingdom that we are going to share together, that your house ain't gonna rule. That's basically what that was. You know, just chopping it down, little cliff notes. If y'all need a breakdown on that, make sure that y'all comment and whatnot. You know what I'm saying, in the comments. You know what I'm saying? If there's a particular breakdown that y'all looking out for, you know, in all of the classes, whether I'm teaching, Officer Shabal teaching, Officer Shalimar teaching, Officer Bakar is teaching. You know, that's our 4 teachers, right? You know, our 4 officers out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, right at the moment. Man, like, we pay attention to y'all comments. We do watch comment section. It's something that y'all want us to break down and bring out in our classes. Like, make sure that y'all, you know, like, speak up, man. A closed mouth don't get fed. You know what I'm saying? And then also, with that being said, I'm gonna take another moment just real quick. For those of y'all that are just tuning in, make sure that y'all like and share our videos on both YouTube and Facebook. If you are on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to our page. And if you are on Facebook, make sure that you like our page. Facebook being ISUPK Las Vegas, and YouTube, our YouTube channel is ISUPK Nevada. You understand? Make sure that you do your part to help spread this word. You know what I'm saying? Fishing doesn't necessarily have to be a one-man job. Everybody can play their part. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, one more time, young man, how is it that Satan became or transformed into an angel of light? So we just came off of the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44, right? What did that basically say? If you got to refer back to it, go ahead. And I just need the first line. That's the only thing you need to do. Just read that first line.
Book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. Ye of your father, the devil.
Okay, now go back. Be not marveled, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel. All right, and no marvel, Salakia, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. How is Satan transformed into an angel of light? When you precept back to the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. Right, I said that correctly. Yeah. What is the, I don't want to say comparison, No, yeah. The comparison between the two. What's the comparison between the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44, and 1 Corinthians 11 and what is that, 14? Or so like 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. What's the comparison between the two? Hmm? Not sure. Anybody online? I mean, come on, y'all. Now, mind y'all as well, I want to throw this out here. With social media, there isn't an algorithm. Ooh, there's an algorithm, Salakia. There's an algorithm that goes behind not only just likes and shares, but also the comments. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, for those of y'all that are watching, like, first and foremost, don't be afraid if you're like, oh, I gotta guess, but it might be the wrong answer. Man, you can't, you really can't grow until you ready to fail. You understand? At least give an attempt. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? You might give an answer and it might be a little bit close. And I can help you, myself or any of the mightier men above me, can walk you into the answer so that you can essentially figure it out for yourself, so that you can learn how to figure out, do simple problem solving, simple research, come to your own, essentially answer your own questions. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like, be sure that y'all participate in these classes when y'all tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I highly encourage it. I highly recommend it. And if I may, just to get a little personal, on my personal life, coming into the truth myself, I would, when I'm basically trying to tell y'all trying to get y'all to do is something that I did when I first was coming into the truth, being a young man, a trooper and whatnot. I mean, hell, you'll hear my little goofy ass from time to time in class try and answer a question and be wrong as hell. Well, I mean, hell, like, I need to understand why I'm wrong before I can actually understand why that's right. And that's me. You know what I'm saying? So with that being, make sure that y'all, I'm just trying to encourage y'all to, start participating in these classes, in these online classes. You know what I'm saying? In due time, Lord willing, we can get our own building so then that way you brothers and sisters can actually physically attend, and then all bets are off. I'm just gonna call on you. Nah, I'm just playing. But you know what I'm saying? Then you can physically attend. It can be an actual classroom setting. But with that, you got an answer for me, young man? Get a few more. Get a few more moments. Check through. Got nothing on YouTube. They're taking me back to YouTube. Check Facebook real quick. Hey, Shalom, Yahaba, Shem Yahweh Barakatah. You know, I'm not going to insult you. Yashakar, sir. You know, I see you. Most High Christ, I appreciate you tuning in. Satan's king of the darkness. Okay. Saying is to deceive you, not following into the truth. That was the next one. Okay. Let's take a few more minutes just real quick just to see if anybody got any more answers. All right. Basically, what I'm looking for. Wait, young man, you want to give it a shot? You want to give it a crack?
I'm not sure.
All right. What I'm looking for right now is the fact that when you go to the first line of the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44, ye are of your father, the devil, right? You are of your father. Now, mind you, go ahead. Are you there in John right now?
Come.
I want you to read. Go in. Read verse 42.
Book of John, chapter 8, verse 42. Yahweh said unto them, if God were your father, you would love me.
Ooh.
For I proceeded forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me.
Okay, so Yahweh is saying that the Most High has sent Yahweh. So if you love Yahweh, you would follow after him, right?
God.
So with that being said, who sent Christianity? Who sent Muslim? Who sent Buddhism? Who sent all that old Africanism? Who sent all that? And many other doggone religions. You know, Elam, stupid ass dreadlocks. Who sent all that? Go ahead.
The so-called white man.
Who's the so-called white man's father?
The devil.
It's Satan. It's Satan. Because what does devil mean? First and foremost. Go ahead.
The deceiver.
That's the deceiver. Now, of course, that's anonymous with. No, that's exactly right. No, you're right, John. That's same as to see you not following into the truth. Yeah, no, you right, John. You know, Satan. That's what Satan's job is to do to deceive you, to keep you from coming into the truth. And what are the many tools that Satan laid out? Christianity, Muslim, Buddhism, Hinduism, African booty scratchingism, what have you. Anything that is not of the Most High is to deceive you of the truth, to deceive you from. Nah, I mean, hell, we just gonna leave it at that. It's that simple. Deceive you from the truth. You understand? So with that, what is the way that Satan was created into an angel of light? How did he become an angel of light from, you know, man, my thing is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44 is a perfect, like, hinting example. Okay, because we are short on time, I'm gonna give y'all a heavy hint. I'm only like majority of the time, and I said this, I believe, last week. Majority of the time, we have one source to blame, right? A lot of our answers to our issues stems from what? Christianity. So how did Satan become an angel of light? Because of fucking Christianity. There you go. I ain't yelling at you, but it's like, man, come on, y'all. It's that simple. Because mind you, when you go into a Christian church, who you looking up to? Who you praying to? Go ahead. A white Jesus by the name of Caesar Borgia. Whomowich was a murderer, a pedophile. I don't remember all the other crimes that he had committed, but those were the two big ones that stuck with me. Like, man, you was a murderer and a pedophile? Huh. Go ahead.
Says John chapter 44.
No. Excellent point. Read that.
The book of John chapter 8 verse 44. You are your father, the devil.
So the devil, the deceiver, Caesar Borgia, go ahead.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
The lust of your father. What did Caesar Borgia do? He molested children. He raped his sister. Did he kill his mother? I mean, those are, go ahead. You know what? Go ahead.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
Oh, hold on. So he killed his mother and or his sister. We'll go with that. He killed his own kin. Go ahead.
And abode not in the truth.
I mean, you really think that Caesar Borgia, or even going all the way back to Esau, which Esau came from the same seed that Jacob came from. And what did Esau do? Let's start with part of our dietary laws. Are we supposed to eat raw meat?
Law.
What did Esau do?
Ate raw meat.
Who? Go ahead and read on.
Because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
I mean, we need further explanation on that. So now when we go back to 1 Corinthians 11 and 14, how did Satan transform himself into an angel? Christianity. Read verse 15. Go ahead. Come on.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.
Read that again for the time.
Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
Okay, so what does it mean for his ministers be transformed into ministers of righteousness? What is that saying? And give me an example as well.
Basically, I guess his
Who are his ministers?
Bishops, popes, and stuff like that.
TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar. What's the white dude? Man, I can't think of the white dude name. Oh, that white dude. I think he's got a joint out in Texas, and he had closed down his church. Go ahead.
Are you talking about the one that
Jeff Olstein?
Yeah.
Or is it Jeff Olstein? Some Olstein. That's one. There's many other. There's many others. Think about it. You got a whole Mormon church where they teach that if you dark-skinned it, you curse. If you a nigga, you curse. The kingdom, that's the crazy portion of it. The 7 kingdoms that the Mormons have are not for a nigger. Anybody that is dark-skinned, it's not for them. You have melanin, them 7 kingdoms, according to the Latter-day Saints, it's not for you. Don't even think about it. It's not for you. Curse. That's why you wearing your curse. That's what they'll teach you. That's what they believe. You understand? So, but that's transforming his ministers. So if Satan transforms his ministers, what is essentially his ministers transformed into as well? So, no, you think you got it? Can you answer that just off of that? If Satan was transformed into an angel of light off of a lie, what are his ministers, those that teach and preach his gospel, what are they?
False prophets.
They are false prophets, but they themselves are also them being transformed, or it is basically what it is because the ministers follow after Satan, and that false light is what we'll say. They themselves become that false light that leads you further into darkness, essentially. Where it's, you can say that Yahushua, or not to say, but Yahushua is that bright, white, pure light. Like, there's no question about it. Just boom, pure. Right? Then you have the light of Satan, the light of these ministers. It might be red, it might be blue, it might be green, whatever doggone color. But the thing is if there's nothing that is being put into a white light, which is essentially pure, and this is why the LDS, and I'm about the LDS from experience, because as in my youth, my mother's side, like, they basically raised me on this. You know what I'm saying? White is right, and it's pure. White is pure. We all know that. Even if you yourself was on, going to them, Judite churches, black churches, it's the same thing. White is right. That's exactly why y'all still have that white Jesus in y'all church. You understand? It's the same thing. I mean, I'm a Judite, you a Judite. We still worship the same Jesus at that time. It was just a different method of it. You understand? We still thought that white is just right. Simple as that. So, because of that, they basically caveated on that, and that's why the LDS, Latter-day Saints, went on to say, oh, that's why white people are white because they're pure. And dark people are dark because you're corrupted. You're filthy. You're sinful. You understand what I'm saying? So, what's so lucky? Let me check the time. All right. We're going to drop that. We're going to read one more verse. All right. We're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. Verse 12. Salaki. Isaiah 14 and 12. So you got it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12. Art thou fallen from heaven?
Oh, hold on. Somebody fell from heaven. Uh-oh. So mind you as well, let's go back to what I was just talking about. This white purity. Go ahead.
O Lucifer,
son
of the morning.
Son of morning. Now, can we go back to the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 16? Don't do it, but I'm saying we can go back to that where Yahushua himself said that he is the morning sun, the morning star, the rising in morning star, right? He said, I am the root and offspring of David and the bright and morning star. Salaki, bright and morning star, right? So go ahead and read that again from the top.
How art thou fallen from heaven,
O
Lucifer, son of the morning?
Now, mind you, son, a son. I mean, how do you become a son? I never heard the Most High God being referred to as a son. I've only heard that the Most High Yahweh as the Father. I've never, ever heard that the Most High was a son, but he is a father. He's the beginning of everything. Essentially, the beginning of everything, right? He ain't no son. So for Lucifer to be the son, isn't that already insinuating that? Starting to insinuate that he at least has a father over him, right? So didn't Christ have a father over him? Wait, no, I'm sorry. Didn't a father and a mother beget him? Okay, so let's read on.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Man, so who is on top to basically weaken the nations? I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier about how a particular individual was stealing the culture and way of life of all the nations to the point where, essentially another world superpower aside from America being China, man, China might be a superpower, but them motherfuckers bow down to the doggone so-called white man. That's why they in them little suits and ties. You understand? That's why Japan in the suits and ties when they want to do real business. Man, you complying to the white man. You submitting to the white man. You ain't gonna be taken serious unless you shave your face, cut your hair to the likings of the so-called white man. I understand that. Go ahead and read on.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Uh-huh.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
So with that being said, I mean, come on now. For thou hast said in thine heart. So if Satan, Lucifer, the devil is supposed to be some entity that is at the bottom of the earth with a pitchfork and a tail, red with horns, all this other nonsense that y'all believing that the devil's supposed to be. The devil got a heart. Satan got a heart. Now, mind you, what is the heart? Where's your heart? Does your heart speak except for the thump, the thump, the thump, the thump? What is your heart?
Heart is your mind.
It's your mind. Okay? So with that being said, if the heart is your mind, you really think we talking about a lot. Christians want to try to talk about that the devil is an angel. You think an angel is worried about taking control of earth when he can set himself amongst the stars with, hey man, he can set up camp in Mars, right? Do his own thing in Mars. Satan is so powerful, he can do this, that, and the other with his rebellion and yum, 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 yum. So why he set up camp in Mars? Or on the moon? Or on Venus? Or Jupiter? Or any of the other very few planets that our feeble-minded human minds have even discovered? Why hasn't he set up camp nowhere else? He focused on here. Like, come on, man. Think about that. God is going to put, the Most High God is going to put his people on earth. Hey, listen, Adam, this your dominion. Do your shit. Israel, all right, I'm dealing with you now. In specific as an entire family. And after this, I ain't cutting off no more. Israelites, 12 tribes of Israel. I'm dealing with y'all. Take dominion of this earth according by, live on this earth by these laws, and you'll have dominion. You'll have complete control of this earth, right? And the devil is gonna sit there and say, "Oh, I know how powerful," or Satan, whatever. The devil will sit there and say, "I know how powerful the Most High is." I'm gonna sit here and say, we got all these other planets, all this other territory. I'm gonna build my army in the midst of God's chosen people, even though that I got the power to do anything else, essentially. Go anywhere else. Because I'm so defiant and so powerful. You see how silly that sounds? How ridiculous that sounds? I mean, like, come on. Man, hold on. Where was we at? Verse 13. Did you read the whole thing of 13?
Yeah,
Read verse 14.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
You really think that Satan, an angel, is constricted to the height of a cloud? He's an angel who walks to and fro from the earth at will, who does his thing. Man, listen. Satan is just a doggone angel whose objective is to deceive. And his ministry is your Christians, Catholicism, and the fake ass Jews that are in Israel right now, portraying to be you. Understand this. Get this little Christian bullshit out your mind that the devil is some man that's under the earth, waiting for you to die so that he can stick you with a pitchfork. It's not what the devil is. Because right now, the devil is sticking you with that pitchfork. It's a 9mm. You understand me? It's a 9mm that he's pumping into you because you fall asleep at a Wendy's. Because you have a toy gun and you're 12 years old with a toy gun at a playground. Because some white women said that you whistled at her and you're 14 years old. That don't sound like, that's not the devil to you? Whether it's a male or a female. And y'all know who I'm calling out with that. That's not a devil to you? That's not a deceiver to you in itself? The devil is on this doggone earth. Y'all need to recognize that. The whole point to this class is to understand that the devil, the so-called white man, is not your friend. He is not your brother. He's not your ally. He is your enemy. Your enemy against righteousness. He's keeping you from being righteous. He's keeping you from what you deserve. With your birthright. He's trying to keep you from your birthright. You understand? And so with that, before we go, make sure that you like and share these videos. If you're on Facebook, on ISUPK Las Vegas, make sure that you like the page. If you're on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to ISUPK Nevada. You know what I'm saying? Do your part to like, share, and subscribe. You know, spread this word to the four corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying? We're about to have a whole lot of heavy content coming out real soon. You know what I'm saying? So with that, Shalom Yahweh Shem Yoshai Barakatham to all the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Ilathah Bahashem Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. And with that said, class dismissed.